You're listening to Reweaving Systems from Nervous to Regulated. I'm Jana Shalom, educator, multidimensional weaver, and your real-time nervous system master regulator. This is not a podcast. This is an attunement lab and the audible expression of a living transmission called Weaving Legacy. Here, we move through a living sequence, a truth that shakes something loose. Then, the pause. Feel our bodies, the bracing, the breath, the return. We don't regulate perfectly, we regulate together. And once we're back with ourselves, we name the systems that taught us to disconnect in the first place. Because programs don't change people. Regulated people change people. This is where we shift from the survival spiral to the re-inhabiting spiral, where we learn to come home to ourselves in real time, where the sanctuary garden door opens from the inside. If your nervous system has been waiting for a place to relax into truth at a pace that it actually needs, then welcome home. This is the voice of a living lineage. Let the transmission call us back into our bodies. Let the weaving root into our daily lives. Welcome to Season 0, Episode 11, On the Full Moon. This is our third arc, Discernment without self-doubt. When emotions stop meaning what they used to. Full moons illuminate. They do not force. They simply make visible what's already present. Across this arc, something has been unfolding. We learned that familiar and coherent signals can exist at the same time. We learned that grief can emerge when bracing softens. And now something else has become visible. Sometimes the emotion is the same, but the meaning changes. There was a time when certain emotions felt like verdicts. Anger meant we're failing. Sadness meant we're weak. Fear meant something was wrong. Relief meant we don't care enough. We inherited all of those meanings. And when we begin to believe those meanings, oftentimes, we do it against ourselves. But when we begin to deepen the relationship with ourselves, our nervous system reorganizes around safety. And when safety arises, the same emotions may appear, but they may have a different meaning. This doesn't mean it's better. It just means it's different. We've talked a lot about coherence, being that feeling that we're all here. Our inner world and our outer worlds align. There's no split in how we feel and what we show. Our inner experience becomes our outer posture. And when that happens, we're no longer contradicting our own self. So our fragmentation softens. I don't have to be pieced apart in order to fit. And emotions stop being something that threatens our functioning. And they simply become information. Not instruction, not demand, information. And knowing that with this information, sometimes what we feel might actually feel worse in the beginning. And this is actually completely accurate. The value did not increase. The distortion decreased. We can name what is happening without self-rejection. Nothing here is wrong. This is a typical human experience. And when our system begins to reorganize, something else arises. old emotional labels loosen. Where we may once have felt anger, which would have collapsed us, now we can feel anger and use that as a positive motivator. We may feel sadness. In the past, we might have interpreted that as failure, but now we realize it just means we are honoring the whole experience. Nothing about the emotion itself changed. Our relationship with the emotion did. I want to share with you a short piece that I wrote, not as guidance, not as explanation, but as a reflection. We called anger a problem until it named our boundary. We called grief weakness until it revealed our attachment. We called fear immaturity until it showed us what truly matters. We called numbness indifference until we learned that that was self-protection. We called relief selfish until we felt how tired we actually have been. We called tenderness fragile until we noticed it was strength without armor. Nothing changed except our willingness to stay. The emotions didn't evolve. They did not improve. They did not soften on our command. But we did. And in that softening, meaning shifted. When the nervous system reorganizes, the meanings of emotions can invert. What once meant danger can begin to mean truth. What once felt like collapse can begin to mean contact. This is not self-improvement. It is literacy. The literacy of our emotions and the literacy that allows us to restore choice. When intensity arises, the old interpretations rush in. Something's wrong. I should be beyond this feeling. Does this feeling mean I'm behind? There's also another possibility available now. Perhaps nothing is wrong. Perhaps something has just become clearer. Perhaps the emotion is not a verdict, but a signal reorganizing us. This is where orientation lives. Not in changing the emotion, not in suppressing it, not in amplifying it, but staying present long enough to notice whether its meaning has shifted. Curiosity can exist here. We don't need answers. We don't need to solve. We don't need to regulate our way out of feelings. We simply need to see and name honestly. And the next time intensity begins to move through us, there may be a quiet question available. Has this always meant what I thought it means? Has this emotion always meant what I think it means? Not to answer it, but just to orient ourselves. In the past, anger and rage have been looked at as negative emotions. However, when we dig really, really deep underneath that, it's often signaling that we are out of coherence in some way or another. We're not here to fix it. We're here to recognize it and sit with it. Today's weaving has gently come to a close. As we stated earlier, full moons illuminate. They reveal what's already in front of us. Emotions may look the same, or their meaning can begin to shift. Anger may become a boundary. Grief may tell us something about our earlier years. Fear may become information. Illumination is complete enough for now, because nothing requires our action today. Next week, under the last quarter moon, urgency and agency. There, we'll gently name the difference between pressure and choice, until we weave again. You just moved through Reweaving Systems from Nervous to Regulated, the Nervous System Attunement Lab, where regulation happens in real time, where we take a breath, we feel our bodies, not perfectly, but honestly. We notice what shifted, what softened, what resisted, what came online even for a moment. If something stirred awake today, that isn't a sign that you're done. That's a sign that you're practicing the slow, steady work of returning to yourself. This work moves in spirals, not straight lines. We don't regulate once, we return again and again. Each time a little deeper, each time with a little bit more permission. And if today pushed you past your edges, that's part of the path. Edges are where remembering begins. This isn't content we're moving through. This is a living frequency, a lineage-held transmission that reshapes us as we walk it. To keep walking the path of somatic knowing, mythic remembering, and lineage weaving, meet us at Journey the Weave on Substack. And for deeper embodiment and spirit-born insight, enter Journey the Spirit Weave, our paid Substack tiered. Remember, our bodies are not the problem. Our nervous systems are not the obstacle. They are portals we are relearning how to trust. And if just one of us practices coming home to ourselves, systems begin to change. We'll see each other at the next episode. Until we weave again.